Hey guys, Louis V here, and it's been a couple weeks, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I've been sick. I've been so sick. You could probably still hear it in my voice. My voice has gone through the ringer, man. You wouldn't want to listen to me. You probably don't want to listen to this, but I still feel like I owe you guys a video. It's been over 2 weeks since I published content outside of shorts. I've been spinning records. I will tell you one of the healing things, if you're sick, a healing medicine is music, man. Put on some freaking music. The records have been a saving grace to my sanity. It's given me a chance to listen to records that I haven't listened to for a while. That's what I've been doing. I'm like, man, I haven't listened to this since I bought it. I'm gonna sit down and listen to it because that's just what I want to do. I didn't want to take the time to like review things that I would review because my head's all congested and I just didn't think that would be fair. So I've just been revisiting my catalog as I'm sick, and I gotta tell you, there's some records I dusted off that I'm just like, I freaking love this record. Why haven't I've listened to this? Why don't I listen to this more often? You know, you just get into those things. And I've been getting into categories I don't play very often, like EDM. I've been playing this like, I guess you would call it, it's not necessarily dubstep. It's like, you know, the step down. I can't think of the name right now, but you guys know. It's kind of like a little bit softer version of that. But I mean, that's just been great background noise. I just put that on, close my eyes, listen to the music, and it's just so freaking healing. And then plus just dusting off some old rock records. I've even listened to some country, which I'm not a country guy, hardcore country guy. But I tell you what, man, when I'm sick, country, I don't know. Maybe because I have aches and pains, I feel like I can relate to the music more. But it's been healing for me. The music has been healing for me, and the community, you guys have been healing for me. I'm blown away of how many people actually went out of their way to either find me on Discord or send me an email through the channel to wish me to get well. And thank you all for the community post too, right? I posted a post a couple days ago that I'm on the mend and new content's coming, and there was a bunch of great people that commented there too. But it blows my mind when people go out of their way to like hunt me down. I even got a message on the Steve Hoffman forums recently. Actually it was two of them. One was just verifying I had a channel. Another one was actually like, hey man, if you're the guy who runs the YouTube channel, I hope you feel better. I saw your message. And then he asked me some question about hardware I had. But it's just weird how people track you down, you know? I just think that's so cool. And that's the power of the community. And that's why I started this channel. We're almost at 1 year. And that's why I started this channel, because I was driving my wife crazy talking about records. I talk to her about records all the time. I drag her to record stores. I talk about records. I talk about pressings. I talk about new releases. I talk about all these grails. I'm trying to show her Matrix and why this one's, you know, $10 and this one's, you know, $500. And she couldn't care. I mean, it's just not her thing, man. I love my wife. She's just not a record person, and that's fine. She has her own hobbies. And that's the trade-off, right? She's invested in mine to a certain degree. I'm invested in hers a certain degree, and we support each other. But we both know you can't go deep. I can't go deep with her on record. She can't go deep with me on her hobby. But that's fine. So I felt like I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have any friends, you know. I didn't have friends that are like excited about records and wanted to talk about records. So I created the YouTube channel to sort of make that connection virtually. And I gotta tell you, man, sitting here nearly a year since we started, I got friends now. I got people I would legit call friends. I get people that wish me happy birthday. We got people that like Happy New Year's. We talk on a weekly basis. We text these guys. We text every day. I created friends out of this, man. And I'm so blessed for that. I'm so blessed for you that's taking the time to watch a channel update video. I'm going to get to what's coming out here in a moment. But I'm so blessed that I have people that care enough. I guess that's the thing. Care enough about me as a person. So thank you for that. But also that have become friends because we've have the engagement. And it's just amazing. It's amazing what a year can do. I was planning on doing this video earlier and then I got sick. I wanted to thank everybody and celebrate with you that we hit 10,000 subs. I can't say that anymore. We don't have 10,000 subs anymore. Instead, we have 11 going on 12. I mean, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling to me how quickly this channel is growing. And I look and I see every week thousands of shares of the content, tons of likes, tons of comments. I mean, I literally spend an hour every day just trying to go through comments on the channel. I actually wake up at 5 a.m. every day, have a cup of coffee, and by 5:30, I am replying to comments before I even start my day. I actually have altered my schedule just to keep up with all the comments and feedback on YouTube. And I'm sorry, sometimes it takes me a few days to get back to you guys. I'm just trying to keep up with all of this and have a full-time job and be a husband and be at home and support the family and do everything I need to do and also run this channel. It's a lot of work. But it pays off, man, because I have great people like you that continue to support it. I got an email this morning, 2.9 million views. I mean, I'm lost for words, guys. I really am. And the only thing I can come up with is thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for sharing the videos. All of those things, when you do that, you trigger YouTube to say, hey, this content's worth something. I'm going to share it out to more people. See, if you just watch the video or you don't watch the full video or there's no interaction, the engagement score goes down and it doesn't go nowhere. You know, it falls flat. Even with 10,000, now 11,000 subs, it'll only go out to a small percentage. But if people are engaged and they like it and there's interest, it goes out to more people. And it just makes sense. YouTube wants to give people content that they want to see. So I thank you all for that, because that really helps the channel grow. And I'm not one to beg for that. I think, you know, occasionally I'll say, you know, like or subscribe. I don't really throw it down your throats. I might put a little pop-up on the video that says like, subscribe. But I don't want to jam it down your throat. I figured if I make good content, people are going to like and subscribe organically. And I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that about this channel, but I don't try to force that down you. But anyway, I digress. I just want to say thank you for all of that. Now, these channel updates are about what's coming up, and I have a whole bunch of stuff to get through. I actually have sticky notes right here under the camera. So if you see my eyes keep going down, I got some sticky notes here to keep me on track here of all the great things. That's what's so awesome. There's so many cool things that are coming up that I actually have to jot it down now. I just can't go off the top of my head. So, you know that we've been doing some interviews here. We've had some, you know, folks from Blues Traveler come on. We had Matt Sorum come on, who's the drummer, or was the drummer of Guns N' Roses and Velvet Revolver and a couple other groups. I mean, you know, he's just an amazing drummer. We did an event with him on Gigaverse with Experience Vinyl. That was really, really cool. That was a very interactive session. If you haven't seen that, people who purchased the, the 20th anniversary of Velvet Revolver Contraband album was able to come on stage, a virtual stage, and like ask Matt directly a question. It was a really cool experience that I hosted that was brought to you by Experience Vinyl. And I think it went really well. We had a blast. Matt had a good time. Experience Vinyl thought it was a really cool session. And, you know, we're going to try to do something again in the future. So you're already subscribed to this channel. You're watching this video for a reason. But what I would really recommend is to pop over at Gigaverse, find the Experience Vinyl community over there, and make sure you follow that. It's free for you to do that. It's free for you to create an account. It doesn't cost you anything. But what it will do is the next time we have an event like that, it will pop up to say, hey, there's a new live event. And I can't tell you what we're working on, but we're having some conversations about having another event that hopefully will be a lot larger than what we did with Matt, because it's not going to be just limited to people who bought the anniversary of the album. So stay tuned to that as more details surface. I'll share that with you. Just my suggestion, my hint to you is just go subscribe to the Experience Vinyl community at gigaverse.com. As far as exclusive content for this channel, I got an interview lined up with JJ Blair. JJ Blair is a legendary producer, you know, he's done so many amazing things. He's worked with Rob Stewart. He's worked with Johnny Cash, June Carter Cash. He's worked with Black Eyed Peas, Kelly Clarkson, so many people, George Benson. And I have an interview with him. He is playing, I think, lead guitar on The Casualties of Jazz, which is, you know, it's the first time him playing guitar with that band on an album. He just produced the album on the first album was really good. It was like this Black Sabbath jazz fusion where it was almost like Jazz Sabbath, but before Jazz Sabbath. Now what they done is the Grateful Dead. And they did a jazz fusion of the Grateful Dead. It's fantastic. And they did it all in the inspiration of other jazz legends. So it's really cool because you get kind of this blend of like, you know, you'll have a track that's like Grateful Dead-esque, and then all of a sudden it kind of goes in this Herbie Hancock thing, and then you're back to the Grateful Dead. It's really cool. I did a review about it. That album's coming out, but you know, JJ and I, we just kind of talk a little bit about his past, about working with all these legends, and then we talk a little bit about the album and what it was like putting that together and what was the inspiration behind it and how it all just kind of came together in the studio. So really cool interview that's coming out here probably in 2 weeks after this video is published. I'm also working on a couple other interviews. I can't release anything yet because they're not signed in stone, but conversations have started. I'll tease it out for you. One is a rock and roll comedian. We're going to talk a little bit about his vinyl collection. He's a huge vinyl collector, has a lot of cool things, rare things. So we're going to just kind of dip into his collection. So this is an opportunity to see another person's collection that normally people don't get a chance to see. And then I'm also trying to set up a interview with a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer that has a side project that they're coming out with, and we want to talk about that. So I'll give you more details as things get solidified, but there's some cool you know, musician interviews coming up that we're hopeful that happens out. And I do got to give props, man, to Seth Frank over at Experience Vinyl for really helping connect us with the artists and the people who actually create the music, not just provide us with, you know, test pressings or test records, but also connect us with the real artists. It's a label that cares about the community and cares about the channel, and we just thank you, Seth, for all your support. But it's really cool. So you guys are the benefactors of all that because you guys get to see the interviews and get to know about the sort of the stories and stuff behind the music. So I hope you really like those videos because I think they're really cool, and it's an opportunity for you kind of to connect, right? Especially if we do something on Gigaverse, there's a direct opportunity for you to connect with these artists, and that's what I really want to do, man. I really want to help get those artists in your room and have the ability for me to ask the right questions that you would ask. And if we get a chance to do it on Gigaverse, you get a chance for you to ask the artist directly, right? So I think this is all really cool stuff. Regarding some collaborations, Shane and Shane's now my mate, friends from starting the channel, and him and I talk on almost a daily basis. We have a call that we have on a weekly basis that we take time just to chat as friends. And he has a awesome channel focused on really high-end audio gear, 2-channel audio gear, and it's an Aussie audiophile, and we just released the Audiophile series. Our first interview was with Josh and Theo of Stack Audio, where we just talk about the importance of isolation, component isolation, why it matters, what to listen for, when do you know that it's actually causing a problem, because certain isolation can cause an actual problem. Sometimes it's not a benefit. Sometimes there's things to listen for to know when something's going wrong, where it's almost conflicting with the device. We talk about all those things. And that's what this whole Audiophile series is about. It's about a round table talking about an issue for a subject, not to promote product, but to actually get an expert in a room beyond two YouTubers, but to get an expert in a room that can go deep on a subject and share with you their knowledge, their experience, what they think of around the subject. So I think it's a really cool, intimate experience that I hope you really enjoy. It's going to be a monthly series. We don't know when it's going to end. We do have the second video that's going to come out soon, and that's going to be with JR from Wally Engineering or Wally Tools, depending on how you know them yourself. But they calibrate really high-end two-channel systems, turntables. They inspect cartridges. They do room treatments. I mean, they specialize in getting the best sound out of your analog equipment. And we talk about the importance of calibration. We talk about tone arms. We talk about cartridge and different materials and why do they matter. We talk about the importance of the alignments and what to listen for. What is the most important thing to make sure that's checked off on your turntable? What's the least important, right? We go into some really cool subjects, and I think you guys will really enjoy that. The way that this series is working is every other video will be posted on each other's channels. So the first video is actually on Shane's channel on an Aussie Audiophile. And the second video, which would be with Wally Tools, Wally Engineering, will actually be here on Vinyl Latte. And if you're wondering how do you get all this stuff instead of bouncing back and forth, you can go to the channel and check out the playlist. And I have the Audiophile series playlist that has everything. And I will continue to have everything as we release the video. So it's just one playlist for you to have to go to. You don't have to bounce from each channel, but I highly recommend that you do take some time, pop over to Shane's channel. He's got a beautiful, beautiful setup there. His turntable is Kuzma Stabby-R. He's got an amazing, he's got a Lyra top of the line cart on there, great tone arm. I mean, his system will blow you away. It makes mine look like Mickey Mouse. So he's the real deal, guys. And he was an ex-tracking engineer, really knows about sound, really knows about room acoustics, really has a lot of knowledge that he shares in his videos. So I highly recommend you checking him out. Speaking of kind of like hardware and stuff, I do have a couple reviews coming out. I've had the Wally Tools cartridge inspection. I did that like, I don't know, a year ago. So I've been running that on my system for about a year. I'm actually right now playing around. So I even did the upgrade. So what happens is once they inspect your cartridge, they'll give you a shim to kind of correct for a bunch of things. We'll get into it in a review. But they'll give you one that I guess is like plastic, and then you can pay for a milled brass one. Well, I did the milled brass one. That's the one I run. That's my primary shim. Recently, I just switched over to the plastic one because I want to be able to compare the two together. I think that's a fair thing to do. So I'm running a plastic one. And once I get a chance to really kind of tell you about the differences, I'm going to finish up that review. I'm going to get that review out to you. I'm hoping to have that out to you probably sometime next week. Might even be this week, to be honest with you, depending on how I feel and how the schedule goes. I got most of my notes written up. I just need to wrap up on this comparison and get that out to you guys. As you're probably aware too, a little while ago, I went from the Parasound JC3 Plus preamp to the Sutherland Dos Locos. I also experimented with the Little Loco, and I'm going to release a review on the Dos Locos. I want to share that with you because I know a lot of folks probably haven't played around with a transimpedance phono pre, and I want to share with you my thoughts on that after not having one and going into one. And I might end up doing a review on the Little Loco and kind of where that fits in the scheme of things. I haven't figured that part out yet because that was only temporary, but I did have it for about 2 weeks. And I did write up a bunch of notes and took some pictures and video of that. So anyway, if there's enough interest, maybe I'll do it. But I have that coming out. The other thing I'm playing around with is I took a pair of these Stack Audio Alvas that are used for speakers, right? So they screw into the bottom of your speakers, and I actually put them onto the bottom of my Butcher Block Acoustics wooden rack. And I did that for isolation. So now this rack stands on the OVA isolation feet. And I want to talk a little bit about that because there was some results on that. And I'm thinking about putting together a video to kind of share my thoughts on that. And if it's worth doing or not, because it is a couple $100 to do that. And, it's not going to be for everyone. So that's what I want to talk about. When is it worth it, and what the results were. So stay tuned to that. I think that'll be a really fun one to do. Just kind of thinking about, using a tool that's really made for one purpose, but if you can repurpose it for something else, does it provide benefits? Now, I know we're Vinyl Latte. And so far, we talked about interviews with musicians. We've talked about success of the channel. We talked about hardware stuff. What about the records, man? What about the actual records? It's a vinyl channel. You're not doing vinyl records anymore? I actually had that asked to me. Are you not doing vinyl, videos anymore? Yes, we're doing vinyl. Everything here is vinyl related, folks. The JJ's album is a vinyl record release. It's only available on vinyl record as far as I'm aware of. I don't think it's coming out on streaming, although there's a couple of videos on YouTube to preview the music. Man, we're talking about vinyl stuff here. But I do have a couple of videos I have coming out in the next, I think 2 weeks, if all goes well. I'm going to come out with my top 10 rock albums to listen to before you die. I've done this series now twice. Both times it's done really well. I did the top 10 albums to listen to before you die and the top 10 jazz albums, and now it's time for the rock albums. The jazz album, the first video I did with the top 10 albums, of course, right? I even after I said, I went through this list, revised it like 30 times. I picked things based on XYZ criteria. There was a lot of things I removed from the list. I still had people saying, you didn't have this album. This list sucks. You didn't put this album in. This is my favorite album of all time. Listen, look, if the Backstreet Boys is your favorite album of all time, it doesn't mean it's mine. It doesn't mean it needs to be on the list. I'm sorry. Don't mean to break your heart. But that's just the way it is, guys, and I got to tell you, and I've even was clear on this on that video. I said, these are what I feel are the top 10 albums because they're influential, because of what they did for the genre, for the people, or at the time. This doesn't necessarily mean these are my top 10 albums of all time. This is just albums I think you should listen to because the aftermath was more than what just the music had. There was ripple effects because of the music, but people just didn't get it. They're like, no, Pink Floyd, Brick in the Wall is like my best album ever. Okay, sure. Anyway, the jazz album though there's a lot of people who agree with my jazz list, and I'm hoping y'all agree with the rock list as well. I've been kind of grail hunting. I've got into this mode lately. Like, I'm getting new records from, series that I like and labels that I like, but I'm not like hunting for new records anymore. I'm not getting excited on, there's a new reissue of this and let me go grab that and compare it to the OG I have. I got too many records anymore to care about doing that. So what I've been actually doing is really just like grail hunting. And sometimes when I grail hunt, I get like hyper focused. Sometimes it's on a genre, sometimes it's on an artist, sometimes it's on a label. And lately, I've been really focused on mo-fi. So I picked up a ton of mo-fi records. Some of them are real grails with mo-fi, and I want to share them with you. So I'm going to do this mo-fi mega haul video because it is a mega haul. And then I want to also do a follow-up video, kind of a follow-up video. They're not directly related, but it's the same theme of just some of the rare records or grail records that I was able to acquire. Some of them are really hard. They're really hard to come by. You don't see them every day. And that's why they're grails to me, because I've been looking for them for a while, never seen them out in the wild, and finally got my hands on really good copies of them. So I want to share that with you. I also want to have some fun, maybe do something like how I decode the Matrix. So for people that are getting into record collecting or something like that, like, if you ever notice inside of what they call the dead wax in the inner side of the record, they have all these weird letters and numbers. What does that stuff mean? And more so, what do I look for when I'm out record shopping when I look at a dead wax? So I think I'm going to put the video together to kind of like the things that I look for. when I'm record shopping. I think that'll be really fun. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is I'll be out there, man. You'll have a chance to perhaps meet me. That's fine. You interrupt me in a hallway, whatever you want to do. I will always stop and talk to a supporter of the channel, a fan. But I'll be at AXPONA in Chicago this year. So AXPONA is the American's largest, audio festival, North America's largest audio festival. I don't know if it's worldwide largest, but everybody's there. The who's who of the industry is there. You have all of your manufacturers come in worldwide. It's a chance for you to see a lot of European brands. And there's a couple things I'm interested in. I'm interested in Vitus audio specifically. Because I think it's time for me to look outside of Macintosh for an amplifier. And I'm really interested in what Vitus has to offer, plus a couple others. But I'm really excited because in America, it's hard to find Vitus, and they're going to be there at the show. So I'm excited to chat with them. I'm also going to have a chance to connect with some friends, of course, JR at Wally, Charles from Kermis, and of course, the Stack Audio Boys and a couple other folks. I'm looking forward to connecting off with them. And, I think it's going to be a great time. I'm going to cover the event. I have a press pass or a media pass, whatever that is, but I'm hoping to try to bring that event to you as I see it and unfold it. Try to set up some great interviews for you guys while I'm there. So if you go to AXPONA, if you're going to be there, reach out. Let me know you're going to be there so we can maybe meet up or we can run into each other or whatever, grab a cup of coffee. I think that would be really cool. But if you're not going to be there and you see somebody you're going to see a company or brand, if you go to their list and look at exhibitors and you see a company or brand that you would like me to ask some questions for, with them on your behalf, I'm happy to do so. Just shoot me what those questions are. I can't guarantee I'll get to everyone. AXPONA is huge. It's massive. It's an entire conference style hotel that is just floor to ceiling with audio everywhere, whether it's headphones, 2-channel, I think it's home theater, you have a car audio show, it's like just everything audio. So it's massive. They even have a record marketplace there where you can actually buy things. There's people come there and set up records so you could shop. So there's a little bit of a record fair there. The only bummer thing about all this, guys, is that it's the same freaking weekend of Record Store Day. I'm bummed. I had so many great plans for Record Store Day this year. I was working on some collaborations with Graybeard's Nations and Mitch's Vinyl Corner to be able to kind of pull off maybe a live event at our favorite record store in Wilson, North Carolina, Phil's Music Exchange. That's my record store place every year. That's the place where you see me, broadcast live from, sneak peeks, etc. I might be able to still do some sneak peeks of records with Phil before going to AXPONA, but I'm gonna maybe miss Record Store Day. But I have a plan. I'm gonna be in Chicago. I have a feeling Chicago has a record store, so I'm gonna see if there's something within reasonable distance from my hotel. And I'm hoping to maybe head out there and just still, maybe check out a new city on Record Store Day. I've never had the opportunity to do that. I've always been home for it. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to try to do. And if you guys have a place that I should look at, if you're from Chicago or know Chicago and there's a record store you think would be cool to go check out, like this is the spot, let me know. I would love to know so I can put it on my radar and maybe do some content from there. So guys, that's it. This is, I'm going on for a little while now, right? So that's what I can share with you. I really do appreciate all your support. I appreciate everything you guys have done for this channel. And I appreciate your patience as I get over this bug and try to get my voice back and get some energy to get content together. I have an agenda. I have a lot of great things to share with you. I just need to feel better to pull it off for you. Anyway. Thank you for the 11,000 subs. Thank you for the nearly 3 million views. Thank you for your comments, your support, and love that you guys send my way. I'm blessed every day because I have you guys and just so grateful to this community. So thank you guys. And that's it. That's a wrap. It's going to be a fun, exciting next few weeks, next month. And that's it, man. So I'll see you on the next video.